Hi everyone, it is me, Sir Uranus, Amara here, and today we're going to talk about why Cloverway made me and Michelle Sailor Neptune or Sailor SeaWorld Nearkin. Now, when Sailor Moon came out, and a lot of folks like to believe that Sailor Moon was the first drawing show to have unstraight cells in it. I don't know if that was true, but a lot of folks like to say that it was. Now, I guess if you looked hard enough, you could seek a drawing show or a drawing film from some other land that did have unstraight selves in it. Now, like a lot of folks back in the day, would scave this kind of mindset or stand. But back then, there were folks who felt that unstraight selves on a show, film, or play for children was wrong. Not that it was sinful and unlawful, because it's not. But they thought it was wrong. So if you had any selves that was in a show, film, or play that was being made for children, you couldn't do it. So that's why Deke had to shift Zoisite to a woman. That's why Fisheye became a woman too. Now, Cloverway called us Nearkin, and I don't know where they were going with it. There was a held belief that Cloverway was only making fun of Deke for what Deke had to do, many years before them. And keep in mind, it was 2000 YL. So it wasn't really so it wasn't that many years past Deke having run over Sailor Moon. You see, Deke had a deal from 9 between 95 YL till 9 between 98 YL, and Cloverway got the rights from 9 between 98 YL until 2003 YL. And at that time, the mindset and stand was still the same. Now, I think I know where Cloverway was coming from. They're like, well, they were both born around the same time. They happened to, go to learn. They were around the same years, Their mother and father were, their mother and father were, they hanged out with each other a lot when they were growing up. And sometimes when you hang out with your kin, you will have a near bond to them. So I think that's what they were going for. But you see, at the end of the day, there were still things that we said and did that would go against that whole held belief. Yes, there was hand holding. Yes, I happened to clothe myself sundriest times in men's clothes. I believe that, I did that all the time. And a lot of folks, had a held belief that they knew we were unstraight lovers. They knew about our kinship, I guess, because a lot of them had probably saw the TOEI take on it before Cloverway had gotten the rights to work with it. Now, the grounds to why Cloverway made us nearkin or had to make Fisheye a woman was under the same grounds that Deke had to make Zoisite a woman. You see, there would have been folks that would have bitched and said, there would have been folks that say, that's it, you're not watching Sailor Moon anymore. I don't care. And that would have been the end of it. But some folks bears and some folks keepers, instead of just telling them they can't watch that Dawn Landis drawing show anymore, or they cannot watch Sailor Moon anymore, might take it a step above that. They might call the Folkworks. And at the time, the Folkworks that did Sailor Moon was UPN and WB, and later on USA and Cartoon, and that was in the 4-1 rights. In the settled land, it was YTV. So anyway, they may call those Folkworks up, and they might bitch and rant and guilt and shame and scathe them for having a deal to broadcast a drawing show that had unstraight cells in it. And most likely either UPN, WB, USA Cartoon, or YTV might tell the folks at Deke and later on the folks at Cloverway, sorry, it's a no-go because folks are bitching about unstraight cells. So that's why Deke had to shift Zoisite to a woman. That's why Cloverway had to shift Fisheye to a woman. And that's why me and Sailor Neptune or Sailor SeaWorld, me and Michelle got shifted to being Nearkin instead of being unstraight lovers or whatever our kinship was. And a lot of folks out there, scave this. A lot of folks out there, scave this. They shame it. They guilt it. And nowadays, it's not a big thing anymore. Nowadays, having an unstraight self in a drawing show, film, or play, or a drawing show for children is not a big deal anymore. Most of the time, it is actually seen as onlooking because now more folks have a more understanding and more learning and more entrusting to folks who see themselves as unstraight. So anyway, at the end of the day, the mindset, the stand is not how it was back then. And that's why Viz didn't have to do anything except just only put it in English. Now, at the end of the day, your guess is good as mine, if how they would have handled it. Now, before I end this film, there is a held belief that Sailor Stars, the last following of Sailor Moon, didn't get put into English back in the day, either by Deke or Cloverway or Pioneer or any other business at the time, because they think, the Sailor Starlights, Sailor Starfighter, Maker, and Healer, known as Jordan, Dustin, and Julian, were men who shapeshifted into women when they became sailor fighters. The truth is that Pioneer and Cloverway let the deal go. They didn't want to get a new deal. The deal they had was good from between 99 YL until 2003 YL. Yes, they could have gotten a new deal from TOEI for long working with the Sailor Moon, but they chose not to. And yes, they would have had to come up with some way to handle or skim or clean or cut the Sailor Starlights. Sailor Star Maker, Healer, and Fighter, or Jordan, Dustin, and Julian, who were men from another world who were sailor fighters, but when they shapeshifted, they had to become women because TOEI had to uphold that whole oversight that only women can be sailor keepers or sailor fighters, and that some folks believe that Naiko Takiguchi said, but that I can't seek anywhere on the interweb where she ever said that. But anyway, your guess is good as mine. So anyway, that's all the time I got. And if you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the film we made this morning with Sailor Pluto, Tissa, or Sailor Underworld, talking about why she's a keeper of time and room instead of being a keeper of death and new birth. And, playlist and share this film. Also beloved this film. Give this film a thumb up. And if you haven't followed us, also hit that ringer when you're following us, so you'll be known. You'll know when the next upload or live or short is uploaded. Sarah Uranus, Amara, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Farewell.